Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our 191st episode of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition. Moot of the Striders. I'm going to go around and have my players introduce themselves.
I'm Tyler, and I play Kyle, also known as Guards the Low. He's a Philodox of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play Cora. She's an Aruna in the Geta Fenris.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Mark Guides the Fallen, and he's a Thurge of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Sean. I play Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. He is a Theurge of the Silent Striders.
Hello, my name is Riley, and I am playing Dimitri Howls-In-Memory, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Hi, my name is George. I am playing William Grows-Matrices. He is a rune of the Glasswalkers.
Last time, the Pax had learned about Sam Haight, also known as Natalie Davis, and how she has plans for Dimitri and wants to save him in her own way. Moving through the homeless camps and working with William, they are trying to desperately track her down before whatever plan she has comes to fruition. Meanwhile, William and Mark saw that some of the kin were being harassed and have taken steps now to make sure that their harassers see justice. All of them have returned to their respective dwelling places, whether it be the Septs or William's apartment, and continue on their journey. Dimitri, it is before you head off to Fountain of Search the night before as you start to reach out with your mind to young Sven at night. Would you roll Dream Speak for me?
Yes. Alright, 3 successes.
Alright. As you go into the dream realm of young Sven, the young Garu is moving about, looking around. It's a strange place. It looks like an amalgamation of 5 or 6 places as you see some of the stones from Garden of the Gods rising out of great primeval forests that you don't recognize. The ocean is on the horizon as Sven seems to walk along by his lonesome.
Dimitri will catch up with Sven and say, "Hey, Sven, it's good to see you again. Where are we?"
Just at the Sept. I wanted to have some time to myself. There's always people around, so I wanted some time to think.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. Do you mind if I walk with you for a little bit?
Yeah, let's walk, Papa Dimitri.
How have you been?
Good. I've been thinking a lot.
What about?
That.
As he points and the blue sky parts and the red star gleams overhead.
Yeah, I know a lot of people find it kind of scary. What do you think of it?
It is scary, but I'm worried. Everything I see the elders who watch me getting more and more guarded. They're watching me for my first change, and I want to go through my first change soon. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for battle.
I know you are. Yeah, sometimes you can't rush these sorts of things. I mean, I know for a lot of Garu, their first change is not a happy experience, but I imagine it might be different for you.
Yes, then I can walk through places between cairns without needing to enter the umbra through the heart of cairns and feel my skin get pricked. I can finally walk amongst people, and more importantly, I can help. I can make sure that if someone tries to hurt you, or Papa Kyle, Papa William, Papa Mark, Papa Zeb, or Mama Cora, I can fight back, and I can hurt them, and I can save you.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, too. To you being able to change like Mama Cora and Papa Kyle and everyone else. But don't feel too pressured. It will come when it comes. And I have a feeling it will be soon.
I hope so. I feel the world shaking.
Would it help if I told you about my first change?
Yes, please.
I was found as a cub in the wild and brought up in a wolf conservatory. And there was, I guess you could say I was always trying to find a way out. The conservatory was too small for me. Felt like I was in a cage a lot. And there was just one day, there was just this feeling inside of me. I don't know how to describe it. It was like kind of a feeling in my chest that surged outward. Just this need to get out, to escape, to break free. And before I knew it, I was out, and that is when the Garu of the Winterfang found me.
Did it help? Did the change make you feel better? Did getting out make you feel better?
It did. I knew I was always a little bit different from the other wolves. I was never really sure how, but after the first change, that's when I understood. That's when I knew I was different because I was Garu.
I know I'm Garu now, though. I just want to not be chained. Do you wonder if that's how the worm feels sometimes?
Maybe, but you know what, Sven? I don't think I've really ever thought about it like that. Yes, I suppose the worm might feel chained up like that, but you have to remember that the Weaver is actively trying to keep the worm tied down. Nothing's stopping you from your first change. It's just a matter of time.
That's true. Doesn't that make it worse for the worm, though? That it won't get a first change to let it be free? Is that why the worm lashes out the way it does?
I gotta go. Sweet dreams. Bye.
You know what? I'll talk about this with Papa Zeb, and I'll get back to you on this.
Okay. Thank you, Papa Dimitri.
And so you continue your talks well into the night before you finally leave. Zeb, how are you going to try and get into contact with Luana?
And honestly, it probably would have been sending spirits to the Sept in Hawaii.
Okay.
Rather than to her. And that way, just in case, I don't want to put her at risk, because we already had the intrusion of our discussion before. Like, we were supposed to meet because we didn't want that to happen. Mm-hmm. So I'll contact them that way, and then see if I can get a place of her choosing. Then I'll go and meet her.
Okay. After a few days, you do get an answer back. The answer is not in a spirit, though. It is through a mail courier who hands you a handwritten letter.
Very good. I will take a look at this letter.
She would like to meet you in Seattle, and she specifically mentions the 22nd Street bar. 22nd Street Tavern is the name of the establishment that she'd like to meet you at in 3 days, which would be at this point June 13th.
I think the question about this before is, I mean, we have moon bridges that get me to Washington State if the moon bridge is still up. If it's not up, then we'll do it over land.
The moon bridge to the Sept of Unified Heart is still open.
Okay. I will wait that. Okay, that's 3 days from this point.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Very good then. On one of the things I guess I will do during that time, as stated in the moot, is, and I'm just going to tell you my action. It's going to be getting information together about the gaps that we have in all of our patron required duties. Not only ours, like I have some idea of what the pillars mean for our pack, but like the gem out of the mountain, like no idea. So if there are some rolls I can make there or research, great. Otherwise, it'll be Zeb trying to send out things to get answers for the things that we just don't know.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and then finally, heading down to Fountain, Dimitri, Kyle, Cora, you guys start heading that way.
Awesome. I guess, where do we start down here? Maybe, she was seen near a homeless camp in Falcon.
Could probably poke around the different homeless camps. My thought was to keep an eye out for Tina, and maybe we can find out what Natalie talked to her about.
And Tina's in Fountain, so that was why I thought you guys were going.
Yep. Sorry. Completely
I'm
forgot.
sorry, I got Locate city names mixed up.
So we gotta find Tina.
Yeah, did we get anything from William, or was he still working actively?
He was still working actively. He got
Okay.
So William got all the raw footage, but someone else has to look through the footage to find Natalie's car.
All right. Do I know which camps Tina frequents?
You don't. Tina was never struck you as homeless.
Okay.
It's possible she volunteers or helps out.
Then let's start at the camp down there that has the most of our kin at it. That Kyle knows of course.
All right, you guys head that way, and you ask around, and they do know of Tina Alstrom. She has been helping out some of the homeless. She's living actually pretty far south. She doesn't live in Colorado Springs. It looks like she comes up this way. She used to live in the Springs, but has since moved, actually, and has moved down to Pueblo West, and makes the commute up once every week or 2 weeks to help the local homeless folk.
Do we know, or do they know, if she is bound to be here soon by schedule?
Her schedule seems a little sporadic, but this is around the time she usually arrives, yeah.
Should we wait here a couple days, or?
I'm thinking we could probably wait around, see if she shows up.
Yeah, it might make sense for someone to go back and help William with the investigation, just so we're attacking this from all fronts.
Yeah.
I can head back and help William then.
All right, and you start heading back while the other two wait. Meanwhile, William, it's finally getting close to closing time, around the time people start heading back to work. You know exactly where the guy who had the car lives.
I will go to that place. Go to his house.
All right, go to his house, and you notice that the car is there.
Anyone else seems to be in there?
Oh yeah, he's got a wife, he's got kids.
I will pick up a brick or a heavy rock and throw it through a window.
You find something heavy and you throw it through the window, and it comes crashing through as you hear the two kids scream out. The wife screams, and you hear him say, "Get down," and he starts to walk through the house as he comes out clutching a handgun.
And I'll just saunter down the sidewalk. Maybe not saunter, but I'll just walk away. Don't say anything.
You're that guy who was at that house, he says. It's the driver, not the guy with the baseball bat.
You mean the house that you came to?
Yeah, and you came to the wrong fucking house. Unlike them, these kids are mine.
So, you have a reason to scare those kids?
I have a reason to scare them so they don't have kids no more. Because those aren't their kids.
Good to know. I'll do a quick pull out my handgun and just take a quick shot at him.
Okay.
Trick shot if I can to knock the gun out of his hand.
That is exactly what trick shot is for, yes.
Cool.
Alright. Gun goes off, hits his gun, and his gun goes careening out of his hand as he looks at you in shock.
And now I'll slowly walk up to him, gun at the side. I'm not pointing it at him. If you don't think one motherfucking kid deserves to live, and you don't say that with sincerity, I will kill you on the spot in front of your own fucking kids. Because every single goddamn person on this fucking planet deserves a life free from fear from their own goddamn neighbor.
As his voice shakes, you got it.
Now, march your fucking ass back inside, and if I see you or any of your friends in my neighborhood again, and I'll just let it trail off.
He goes back inside, and you gotta go quick. Neighbors have absolutely called the cops.
That's fine.
William, you come back as you see Dimitri just kind of sitting awkwardly in front of your apartment because you locked it. And Dimitri respects your privacy in your home, I assume.
Hey, Dimitri. When'd you get here?
Oh, a while ago. Came back to help you with the investigation to find Natalie's car.
Oh, right. I had to take a quick break, but we can get right back to it. Here, let me unlock the door. You don't know any hooligan that's around these places these days, and I'll give Dimitri a little elbow nudge.
Oh yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Water, tea, soda.
I'll just have some water.
Cool. All right. Well, let's sit down. And we've got a lot of video to go through. You wouldn't happen to know anyone else that can sift through this footage with us?
Well, Kyle and Cora are busy. Have you tried calling up Mark?
I have not at the moment. I was thinking about also going back to Tim and Hank's place just to keep an eye on things. It's getting a little heated between the haters and them.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you need any backup for that, just let me know.
I hope that I took care of things. But if they do come back, an extra set of hands or claws would be helpful.
Especially since I have Guys of the Hound, then can just make it look like a dog bite.
No, if they come back, I want them to feel it. I want them to be everywhere.
I understand.
The only reason why they're living now is Tim and Hank.
Well, to search for the footage, it will be an intelligence investigation roll. Diff 8, you need a cumulative 15 successes. Every person helping adds 2 dice to the roll. And each roll represents 3 days. Because it's just raw 24-hour CCTV footage.
Yep.
Across the city.
Gotcha.
Wait, it's the whole city?
Well, not from the whole city, from those traffic cams across like the pathway you gave.
Okay.
But that's still 24 hours of camera footage from multiple,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is gonna sound a bit off the cuff, but I'm curious if it could work. I know that there's software that's out there that can capture still images and read license plates. So in a recording, it'll just snap a picture of when like a car drives by and it has a license plate, and it'll capture that and read it and output the data as this is the license plate that happened at X time. And I know that because in Dispatch, like 10 plus years ago, they used that on red light traffic cameras. And so it also ran the query against the National Criminal NCIC and also the state records.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if there's something that I could get my hands on quickly that can do that and just process that information for us.
That would be a Charisma Computers roll. That will be Diff 8 because it's mostly government software, right? But you only need a cumulative 5 successes to hit all the contacts.
Okay.
And each roll also represents 3 days, but it's way less to roll.
Okay, so you said Charisma. I'm sorry.
Computers.
Okay.
All right, 3 days pass and you don't get any good leads.
Okay. Rolling again, right?
Well, after 3 days, real quick, we're gonna go to Zeb, who finds himself in a bar. It is definitely a dive. Smaller establishment, seems almost larger on the inside, but that's because it shifts down and then opens down in almost a basement level. Bartender looks you up and down.
I will be wearing a face.
Okay.
So I will spend I'll spend 2 rage for appearance 2. Well, actually, I'll spend 3 rage for appearance 3.
Okay.
And I will have a face. So when I get into the area, I will have kind of scoped around a little bit and then gone in there and made sure that I looked not like Zeb normally. All
right, perfect. Old woman at the bar sees you. She's smoking a cigarette quite illegally, based on indoor smoking laws for bars. And she's like, "How you doing, handsome?"
I'm doing great, gorgeous. I really like this place. I think I got a date waiting for me. And Zeb will kind of look around to see if she's here. If Luana's here.
Yeah, Luana's not here yet, it seems like.
Okay.
Well, if they
Zeb
stand you up, I can always tell you when I get off my shift, she says.
Well, I already like this. Is already my favorite bar in Seattle already. Zeb will just take a seat at the bar, get something on tap, and are there other people smoking in here, or is it just her?
Yeah, there's other people
Okay,
smoking here.
Zeb will light one up.
All right, perfect. A rather short white man walks up to you as he puts his hand on you. He looks you up and goes, "Sir, there's no smoking in this establishment. May I talk to you over there?"
Yeah, of course. Sorry, Inspector. He'll put it out and walk off to the side. I will sense worm on this dude though, as we get up from the table if I can.
All right, you can roll sense worm. No unusual worm smell beyond what's in the place. As the man's voice changes to that of a woman and goes, "Glad you could make it."
Sorry it took so long. He'll take a seat wherever the guy that I know is Luana, wherever she wants.
Yep. As she sits down and goes, "All right, I need you to follow me. Actually, are you? Let's pay up, and I'll show you where to
go." No problem. Zeb will he'll go up to the bar. He'll kind of make it like, "Man, this is fucking parking tickets getting served. This is bullshit." Pay his tab, and walk out.
All right. As Luana walks behind you, she turns into an alleyway and comes back out. Now, an indigenous Hawaiian woman, dressed casually for the area. She goes, "Follow me, please."
Yeah, he will.
And you guys walk for about 3-4 blocks as you get to a nice little house that's kind of out of the way. It doesn't seem like much on the outside, but the yard is very well cared for. It gives off kind of this almost soothing feeling as you go in. You notice much of the house has had work done. It looks like it's been personalized a great deal as she sits down on one of the chairs and offers a chair to you as well.
Yeah, he'll take a seat.
All right, so you wanted to look for the good doctor.
I do. I have other information to exchange. You had used the term, what was it? A good one. Paradigm before. Well, in my outlook on life, information for information is how the world goes round. So I think I have some things for you, the things that you might have in exchange.
Is that so?
Want me to start? I am the one that's imposing upon your hospitality.
Please.
Zeb will make sure that, and I'll roll sense the unnatural also, just making sure that he hasn't just walked into a fucking a good doctor trap and is about to get fucking murked right here.
Sure.
He is going to make sure that she's just pretty svelte. The letter, everything was pretty good, but I mean, she did shit that he didn't know they could do, and now he's here. So, are there would be appropriate perception rolls, or what would you like me to do?
What is the roll for sense and unnatural?
It's all right. So for sense of the natural, this is just a perception plus enigma's diff 6, and it really just describes attributes of the environment that you're in.
Okay, then make that roll then. God damn. So you get the sense off of her that she is unnatural in some way. You get the feeling off of her. Well, being a namer, that makes sense. As you get you kind of almost smell the aura of power off of her. The house itself, there's some things unnatural about it. Small bits here and there. Once again, it feels almost as if the gauntlet is both stronger and weaker here in ways that you can't quite put your foot on, or you put your finger on. But there's nothing, but that all seems to be the thing. This place is definitely unnatural.
I'll start with a very basic question for you. I know that you're at least tangentially in contact with my people. How much do you know about just the gospel according to the Groo Nation?
The Kahavati have walked the Umbra and walked the Middle Lands. We know of the Wormweaver and Wild.
I will use our language interchangeably as one point of clarity for us in this discussion is entropy unbalanced versus the natural decay that would occur through life being the thing that we combat most. I'll tell you what I've heard, and this has been pieces and snippets trying to figure it out. I recalled hearing about a place of yours, the Palace of Ethers in the Pyrenees, last we knew, but something that had been overrun and destroyed, and that there were others that were coming together to work to do this for some time. I had made contact with another one of your people aligned to the more dynamic way of this universe, and he had been helping me track down information about the good doctor. I did the same thing with another contact in what I believe is called the Technocratic Union.
As her eyes widen.
Both of them have confirmed, well, one has confirmed another piece. His piece of information was that the inner circle has been tainted, and that with all of the corruption within the inner circle, they were able to cut off a place called Horizon, and that they did this to have control over the technocracy at this time. When I spoke to my contact within the Technocratic Union, sharing very little, our communications were already, there was intrusion where the good doctor was able to monitor and very quickly intercept. I didn't really care, as she was an enemy of my people at the time, and I was okay with the fact that maybe something bad might happen to her, but as far as I know, she has survived for now. Both of those things are very recent information, other than the ability for what the good doctor has done, both within the Shadowlands of the Restless Dead, as well as what he's done amongst our own people and being able to manipulate their, what do you all call it, pattern. Can't defend against that. There's not enough of us to do it, nor the knowledge. It's step one, or we find him and destroy him. But we've attacked his home using the technocracy to do so once, and he is both angry, but able to move very quickly. Zeb will also describe the other, like the places that they had gone in pursuit of him, the workplace where he had jars of people's memories, pulled from them and held, and how he was able to manipulate other folks. So he'll lay this information out, kind of pieces and parts as far as he knows it.
I'd heard rumors of the good doctor, and what you describe is what some of the stories claim. Master manipulator whose dream of ascension is becoming the dark masters that other of his kind worship.
We had, again, through our lens, two significant things occurred, and then a piece of us doing research. One was when we had engaged in combat some of his minions in Hawaii, he was able to use, or a laser from space was used against us. He is also responsible for the nuclear device that went off in Hawaii. In addition, using certain powers of foresight, we were able to determine, kind of confirming in our own way through our own viewpoint, that he directly serves entropy unbalanced in an aspect that we know it to be. The other goal that we believe is associated with is there is a great entropic entity that we have bound. Your colleagues, your family within the tribe of Older Brother have bound. If that entity were to escape its binds, this would also represent, well, very likely a major shift toward the end of all things. But pick from the deck of things that might end the world. There's more than a few on the table.
Unfortunately, if I'm not sure what I can do to aid you, we've lost many of our own in the cutting off of Horizon, though it looks like the reckoning is easing across the gauntlet across the world. We're starting to pick up the pieces.
Is that your name for the storms that have swept across the Umbra?
Yes, the Avatar storm that struck and shifted parts of the Umbra, at least for us, into different places, and scattering of Horizon, and shards of avatars in the gauntlet that sliced and damaged us when we tried to cross over.
We attributed this possibly to, again, through our viewpoint, creation attempting to remedy imbalance and attempting to hold back the binds of entropy unbalanced. That easing leads me to hypothesis that it's actually much worse. That while the storm has decreased, the shards, the things that we felt when we would cross into the Umbra have eased, that actually means that the binds and the reaction of what I've heard you call the Tellurian have weakened.
That is possible. I view it as something happened. I know that the Technocratic Union did something in India due to a great power that was released. And I know that others had to deal with the Dark Umbra in the low places of the lands of the dead, and whatever they did, they released something and caused an imbalance that created that storm, but released something else. New creatures walk this earth, whether they're immortals possessing the bodies of men, or humans in which our dynamic magic occasionally seems to not touch them at all.
We're taking a slight tangent, but an important one. I was journeying through portions of the Dark Umbra when what they call the Maelstrom reopened, swallowing up many of the restless dead to wherever they go when they are consumed. And we have seen Umbra that have been long since forgotten or bound away returning. And it brings, to your point too, we had seen individuals in our city rising from their graves, seemingly stronger, impervious to pain, no doubt somehow tainted.
That is because part of the lands of the dead were struck so hard that there's a great maelstrom, and it still rages right now. And so some who become the restless dead, their spirits are flung from the Dark Umbra into other parts of the Umbra, whether they high or middle, or sometimes into the bodies they once inhabited when they were still alive.
Getting back to the primary point of our contact back and forth all this time, I recognize your own resources are strained. If there can be something done to assist us in at least protecting ourselves from the influence of this very specific namer, then I think there are things that we can provide to you. We are still an army of warriors that are preparing to fight to the end. That we can do very well. I think there are some services that we can provide in that regard, and it's going to require some time for us to really pool our resources effectively because we're running quickly out of options and our enemies are legion.
That they are. I would accept any help, and your strength would be of great value, especially to the traditions. But I do want to warn you of one thing, and that is, if you are to send spirits to a nebulous person and you don't know their exact locations, be wary. Any who have the proper knowledge would take the information, change the information, or damage your spirit in a way to which it cannot return, and you can lay your plans bare to those you may wish to hide it from, for the spirit will search, and it can become noticed very quickly when a spirit is searching for something outside of its normal territory, or in a way that is not in perfect alignment with its nature for those who wish to look, or those who get the sense that the spirit was given a task that is easy to see upon the pattern of the spirit.
I'll take your correction to heart. The letter in the mail was a nice play. I don't think I've received a piece of mail in 30 years. Who else can we talk to then in closer proximity to us? And by us, I mean in our territories in Colorado.
There are several of my tradition I know in... There's a few of my tradition in Colorado. They tend to be near Durango.
So other than not being a foolish child sending out spirits to nebulous quests, is there anything else specifically we can do to protect ourselves from this thing using its powers to influence and unmake us?
The thing that he seems to need is to be able to speak to you. The more he speaks, the more power he seems to have over you. And the easier it is for him to find you. It might be worth making sure that you don't let him talk overly much, lest he gets into your mind.
Literally speaking himself into existence. All right. We haven't heard much from him since heard anything since the nuclear device. Well, luckily he's quite far ahead. We killed one of his pawns recently, and I haven't had much happen since.
That's good. But I know that if he has an interest in you, he is working towards something. And his greatest goal is to be that of a cat, playing with his meal and torturing it as much as possible before he devours you.
Well, you've had me all the way here. Anything else you need from me specifically?
I would very much like that you continue to strengthen older brother's position at Sacred Stone. They have strong connections, and they have several connections to my tradition within their family lineages. I would also like it that if this good doctor reveals himself to you again, that you speak to members of older brother at your home and tell them exactly what you heard.
Easy enough. We'll try to be in contact with other members of your tradition in our area and hopefully find a way to work more closely. Thank you for the information.
Meanwhile, at the homeless camp, a 25, late 20s, early 30s something man walks up to you, Cora and Kyle, as he looks over you near the homeless camp, and he hands you both a blanket.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Kyle, your eidetic memory kicks in, and you recognize him as one of the kin that you've met before. One, Ben Bernard.
Does it look like he recognizes me, or he's just being...
That'd be a perception empathy. Diff 6. So he does recognize you. There's kind of a smugness about him. And you remember that he was one of the kin at the compound.
Do I remember which kind?
You haven't seen him in a while, so you can infer.
Well, what I mean to say is he one of the ones that came back with their tail between their legs, or one of the ones that ran and fought us?
You don't have an extensive list of that.
Okay.
But because you haven't seen him in a while, you can infer that perhaps he is one of the ones who fought.
Is that you, Ben?
Sure is, Kyle. Cora?
Ben?
Been quite some time. How have you been?
Never better. Never better. Been a good time. How are you? It looks like you're coming back to your roots, if you don't mind me saying.
Your roots never leave you unless you want them to.
I suppose that's true. But, well, I wanted to make sure that you were comfortable. It's been too long.
Oh, I agree. It has been quite some time. Have you seen Tina around? I thought she came by here around this time, and I haven't seen her yet.
I have, actually. She ended up wanting to run away from Natalie because Natalie has been trying to get her to join us as the Stolen Moons. All right, and now Kyle?
Yeah.
He is activating Liar's Face. So he spends 1 point of willpower and rolls Charisma Subterfuge. And
the worst part is that I already decided he was a Stolen Moon, Keegan. How can you take this from me?
And so he failed.
So first I have a couple questions for you. Do I know that he tried to activate this gift? Or...
You don't know that, but it seems likely, because you've seen it in use before.
Does he know he failed?
Yes, he does.
Ah, that's a shame. Well, that's tough, buddy. Dazzle.
Big shame.
All right, his willpower is 8.
Why is he so good?
Because he didn't have any gifts to invest in for years.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Also, it takes nerves of steel to kill a 9-foot-tall death machine and skin it.
You're right. You're right.
That's fair.
It does. No.
Ooh.
My favorite gift.
So he's going to activate his next gift, Blissful Ignorance, where he is going to attempt to essentially go kind of invisible. And that is Dex Stealth. So, actually, he will spend a point of rage to automatically shift into Lupus or Stamina Stealth. So he's going to do that to shift to Glabro instantly, and that will increase his stamina for this roll.
Could I activate Snarl of the Predator real quick?
You can do it at the same time.
Okay. 3 plus enemy wits. What's my enemy's wits?
His wits is 5.
Oh yeah, this is not True Fear. This is Snarl of the Predator. -1 die to enemy pools per success for the next 3 turns. So -2 die the next 3 turns.
-2 die. Perfect. All right, he seems to vanish. And then he gets to do a Dex Stealth. So he's trying to sneak away.
It'd be to see if we can find him. What is like a perception?
It's perception alertness, and you subtract 2 successes from whatever you roll. And then you got to get 2 successes on top of that. So you need to roll a total of 4 successes to see him.
Well, let's hope I get all successes. No! I think shoes are fantastic.
You identified one of the homeless folk as another member of the compound.
Can I mulligan that?
Sure can.
I'd be so happy to mulligan that.
All right. Go mulligan it.
Well, don't see him, but
But
I don't murder another homeless person.
Fuck.
Lost our lead.
No. That's okay.
This one. Maybe we can find Tina, see if she knows where Natalie went.
I think we should leave Tina alone at this point. I don't want to drag her deeper into this. And we now have, well, it's very unlikely that he was the only one that came back.
For sure. Should we ask around the camp, see if they noticed him spending a lot of time with anybody in particular?
That's a good idea. We can ask to see if others came with him.
you learn that he arrived that day. No one really knew him. They thought it was a new guy. Someone who was recently homeless, given how well dressed he was.
He was well dressed. Why was he here?
Well, he handed us blankets. Probably knew that we were here, or was looking for other kin. But the fact that he messed up Liar's face means that Tina's innocent.
For sure.
And it's unlikely Natalie gave her any real information, considering how angry she was when she spoke with her. But we have a second name now, more to go off of, and we have a warning that we can give to the Sept.
Yep.
All right. You guys go back. You hand a warning to that Sept, or the Sept, and real quick, we're going to have another roll from Dimitri and William, the dynamic duo. Or unless, Mark, were you called in to help?
Was I called in to help?
We would definitely call you in.
All right, so...
Totally, I have a dot in investigation.
Awesome, so you're going to be helping Dimitri out. Dimitri, you get 2 bonus dice, thanks to Mark.
All right.
And, William, are you going to keep looking for the computer program?
Oh, yeah.
All right, make your rolls. Another 3 days worth of investigation. 2 out of 15 for Dimitri.
I rolled a 4.
4 out of 5 for William. Well, at least it sounds like you got to the software side sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and with that, we're going to jump ahead a little bit. You guys can make one more roll to represent this, and then we're going to jump ahead to the Moot. Dimitri. Really letting me down, bud.
Look, Dimitri's thing is cars. Anything other than that is kind of stupid.
Oh no, William.
I'm going to use a mulligan on that.
Okay.
Because I need this to go through. And it is still diff 8, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right. You get your software and you start rocketing through license plates. It'll take another day. So, meanwhile, at Sacred Stone, the Silent Striders have gathered. It is finally the night of the Strider Moot, Zeb, and you are able to step forward. What would you like to do?
Okay, so first, Zeb will open with a howl. The first howl will be honoring Owl, our patron, noting that we have, hunted many rodents, still respecting our comrades in Rat, also offering much information and many secrets. He will howl a second time, and that's to honor Great Golden Eagle, recognizing the wisdom that Owl gave us, knowing that Great Golden Eagle goes through his change, and that all of the children of Owl are honored to receive visions to make their wisdom have meaning and understanding. The only points that Zeb will bring up for the breaking of the bone. Brothers and sisters, I know that we have seen King Albrecht challenged, and we have rallied around our king so that he may face the deadliest and most vile of the Black Spiral Dancers. I would offer one other point here for our cousins in the Ahadi. Let them entreat at the Sept of the Green and those of Grandfather Thunder's brood. Let us encourage them so that we might heal a gap between the children of Falcon and the children of Grandfather Thunder, so we are not divided when the time comes to make tough choices. One thing more for us to reflect on: the Umbra has changed, and I believe that means that the bonds of Weaver weaken, that we will see much disturbance coming forward. This is our chance, however, Kin, to quickly spread the message, to quickly rally our fellow Garu, and to ensure we find the worm, we destroy our enemies, and we achieve what our patrons have charged us to do. He will wait for other business, and then bring forth a surprise. Brothers and sisters, there are kin among us that have kept a great rite mourning our lost for some time. It has been a long time since we have been able to honor any of those that we have lost. For our homeland has been denied to us by Sutek. He will spit. Kin, I will now perform the rite of greater mourning. It is the surprise for which I have called you all here, to honor Mehmet Stonebreaker, a name that has been brought to us by our Cleoth. And Zeb will begin the rite.
All right. Make that roll.
All right. I will have 6 successes on that roll, sir.
Hell yeah. As an Egyptian man stands out, he is in ceremonial garb with a silver kukra in hand. He looks at you and looks over the rest with shock and awe upon his face.
Mehmet Stonebreaker, we are the rallied children of Owl, gathered to honor you and your memory, and your loss, to honor your great deeds, and to send you for the first time home. Galliards, come forward and sing his praises, and then Stonebreaker, we shall hear your story.
He speaks of his time on the Nile, how he battled, in fact, Set and his ilk in the ancient times and shattered a stone dragged by slaves to create the pyramids once. He then turns and gives a grave warning. The city is filled with ilks similar to Sutek. They are dark and have dark designs. I can smell it as the eye gazes from above. Something happens, and the smell of blood wisps through the air. Be warned, kin. There is a dark magic about, and I fear it is not just here, and it is hidden even from the leeches that roam the streets, or at least most. They are guided by a jackal, by those who were born from darkness and cast out when the world was built with light.
Zeb will howl the fury of what Sutek has done to us and the punishment that the children of Owl met upon their ilk for what they have taken, and that Owl will guide our claws to gouge their eyes and smite them.
The spirit nods and looks over the city. He seems to take a deep breath and thinks for a moment, and then simply looks back at you and nods for you to continue the moot.
Kin, we lost the great river. We traveled across sand, forest, mountain, and great water. But today, we send you home. Today we remember Stonebreaker. Our ancestors are honored here, finally. No other story is told here but our own. And the Silent Striders reclaim what they have lost. And he will howl to complete the ritual with those that are gathered.
The ritual is completed as you gain honor, and all those who participate gain honor. You do not gain a Dot of Ancestor yet. There's still a disconnect, especially from the older Striders. The young have an easier time. They have dug, and they have finally uncovered what their elders were robbed of. And more journeys may be required to let yourself reconnect and allow yourself to be connected to those who came before.
Tell your elders, kin. Tell those that have fallen to Hirano. Tell them all. The Silent Striders will know their ancestors. The Silent Striders have never forgotten, and Owl will guide our way. Now we go forth. We destroy the worm wherever we find it, and we go back to the great journey, bringing the message, bringing the word, bringing news to all that need it.
And so they rush off, ready to complete their journey. The night ends, and your moot is complete. Next day, Kyle, you're at the Sept grounds, sleeping, when someone kind of nudges you gently and almost playfully with their foot.
Who might that be?
You open your eyes as Matthias looks down at you, smiling.
Hey!
Hey, as he throws down his hand to help you up.
And I will take that hand and then lead that into a hug.
Lifts you up, gives you a hug. I wasn't too far, as he has now got a good 3 inches on you.
I'll look up. What happened?
I got a spirit that showed up, saying that you were here, and I wanted to see you. I was disappointed the first time around. Where's Cora? Where's Mark?
Cora should be around. Mark, I think, is he still helping with the investigation, Keegan? Timeline, I
so,
can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark was helping with an investigation. He's at an apartment, one of our friends.
Okay. Wow, excellent. As Mark, you've actually returned to the Sept as the program's doing all the work for you finally, and you walk in on all this.
And I'll notice Matthias. Matthias! And I'll wave over as I come on over.
Wow, Mark. Kyle was just talking about you.
Well, speak of the Garu and he'll show, I guess.
I guess so.
Guards the low. Yep, I'm sorry. Guards the low. Two-Hearts, it's great to see you again. I haven't seen you in a few days. But Matthias, you've gotten bigger. And Mark will put his hands on his shoulders.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Cora, as you're doing Sept duties, you hear the raised voices of Kyle and Mark.
Am I in the middle of something that I can
You can
step away from?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I'm like, if I'm guarding, then unfortunately they're gonna have to come to me. But yeah, I'll move over. Matthias, and she'll give him a big ol' hug.
He's taller than you. He's about 6'2".
Growth spurt, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's been a while since everything.
A heck of a growth spurt. But 4 years, I mean, no, longer, huh?
Yeah.
Cora's still not all that smart.
It's been a long time, but yeah, I've been wandering. I've been helping things out. Actually, there was someone asking about Kyle at the last place I was at.
Where were you?
Down in New Mexico.
Who was it?
I don't know. Her name was Michelle. She seemed kind of skittish. I don't know. She was real young. She was maybe 15, 16. She said she was heading this way. Last I spoke to her. I'm shocked she hasn't gotten here yet.
Does that name mean anything to me?
Nope. Well, you've met Michelle's before, so...
Well, yeah, but
not
of
one that
age.
young. Yeah, not that young.
That doesn't ring any bells.
Maybe she heard of your wonderful, wonderful adventures.
Yes, I am known far and wide now, I guess. But not by 15-year-olds named Michelle, I would have thought.
Where did you meet this Michelle?
We were crossing through the Santa Fe National Forest when we bumped into her.
Do you know what form? What form was she in?
She was in her Hamid form. She was dressed down, very good hiking attire. Looks like she's been on the road a while.
Yeah, no one comes to mind.
Meanwhile,
How'd you know they were Garu?
Well, they recognized me. She came to me actually. So she asked me if I was Matthias. I said I was, and she just got very sheepish and she asked if she could talk to me for a bit, and I agreed. And she asked if it was true that I was the last white howler, which made me think Garu. And then she asked a really odd question. She asked me at the end of the world, what would I think would be worth remembering? Odd, right?
It is.
Some sort of Galliard question, I guess.
Nothing against you, Matthias, but I don't trust this.
Fair enough. I just told her. I told her some thoughts I had and of the struggles I'd known and the people I'd seen die. But she didn't ask for any Sept secrets, no nothing. She just earnestly listened and thanked me before she went on her way.
Well, my protective instinct is, If she wants to meet us, we find her first before she finds the Septs. No need for her to know where that is yet.
Keegan is... I feel like that question should bring about memories, and it's not. Is there anything I can do to make a connection to that question?
An intelligence occult, diff 8.
We just talked about how, look, there's an elder at this table who doesn't have any occult. Oh, well, so that's diff 10, yeah?
Sure is, actually, because it's a knowledge, it adds 3 to the difficulty. So
Oh,
it's
well
diff
then,
10 plus
there's no
diff 10,
rolling
2
that.
successes, yeah. All right.
I'll ask the question again to more learned folk, and hope it means more to them.
Meanwhile, at William's apartment, you are having a mild panic attack as you're still trying to figure things out. You finally you've got a route. It looks like this car that had Natalie in it went all the way to Peyton based on the trajectories you got. Peyton and beyond, because you didn't go that far past Falcon, obviously, and in that general area. So you now know that she is even further east when there is a rapping at your door.
Look through the peephole.
You see a young black woman there. She's maybe in her teens. She's looking down. She's in hiking gear. She's got a big backpack hanging on her.
Open the door. Can I help you?
Hi, my name is Michelle Two Rivers. I had to ask around, and most of the people I spoke to pointed me this way to try and get a hold of Kyle Guards the Low.
I know of him. Come in. Can I get you some water? What can I do for you?
Yes, please. Thank you. I need to talk to him. It's important.
Okay. I will activate my earpiece to get in contact with either Cora or Dimitri.
Okay.
Wait, Dimitri's with me, right?
Yeah, Dimitri's
Yeah.
there.
Okay, I was gonna.
Hey, Dimitri, there's someone here. Okay.
So it would be Cora and Mark.
Distance-wise, it'd be diff 5.
Okay.
All right, you connect to Cora.
Hey Cora, I've got someone here trying to get a hold of Guards the Low. Goes by the name of Michelle. You said Michelle Two Rivers, right?
That's right.
They're looking to talk to Kyle. So, do you know where they are?
Speak of the devil. Kyle, it looks like we're going on a trip to William's house. He's got Michelle there.
A wild coincidence, I guess.
Yeah. Weird.
Advantageous. Well, I was just over there, so I know a quick route to get back over there.
You want to join us, Matthias? We can talk about, congratulating you and all other fun things.
Absolutely. Come on. As you guys talk, you trade stories. Matthias tells you about some of the battles he's been in now, some of the people he's known, things at Avalon that he periodically returns to.
That's fantastic.
I mean, not half as fantastic as some of the things you guys have been getting up to.
I wouldn't call him so much as fantastic as trouble, but just...
Don't sell ourselves short there. We have been on the edge of the precipice, and we did come back.
We watched a nuke go off.
You're also known as Fomori's Bane, the Star Crossers, for what happened with Sven, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
We don't normally get an updated list of our nicknames, but Star Crossers, I like.
As you guys get to William's door.
Knock, knock, knock.
That must be them, Michelle. Let me go grab that. I'll peep through the peephole and see them and just open the door.
Let them all in.
Are you Michelle?
I am.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Guardslow.
Kyle Guardslow, yes. I've heard so much about you.
What brings you here? And I'll, shake hands, what have you.
She shakes your hand and takes kind of a deep breath and goes, well, this is going to sound I want to know what you want to be remembered after the apocalypse.
Is there any criteria for this question? The kind of apocalypse, success, failure, about me, about anything?
Anything. Let me be clear. I've heard that you've had good relations with the other Farah. I am Michelle Two Rivers of the Macaulay. And when the world ends and all turns to dust, we will remember. Because we are Gaia's memory. What do you think is worth remembering after the end of days? And we will find out what Kyle thinks is worth remembering next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We'll catch you in that next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Catch you then.
Bye.
Bye.